This dollar store cutting board is about to up my YouTube game forever. 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 Dimension forever. A coworker came by a trade show and saw some of the paintings I'd made on cutting boards. They're a little bit different than this one, but she liked them, so she decided to go get a cutting board and ask me to paint it. She wants mountains and waterfall. The rest is up to me. Hello, Lorilla. This is my platypus, Lorilla. Sketching paintings out is not something I usually do, but when I do, it's in this book. I'm pretty cheap and I'm still learning, so it's a pencil set from the dollar store and it's a sketchbook from the dollar store. No shame there. So all my sketches were basically the same. Platypus break. I had mountains in the background and then a multi-layered waterfall underneath. But sometimes I had like this one with a mountain on the side. And I tried 4 or 5 different sketches, but I accidentally pressed the button to switch camera view, so I had a whole lot of video of my ceiling, which I'm sure you didn't want to see. I picked one rough sketch and got to painting. Maybe I'm used to painting bigger paintings, but I wanted to do a gradient for the background behind the mountains. So I started with a purple, and then I go to a dark blue, and then a lighter blue, and then finally a denim blue. But I ended up covering it all, so don't judge me in that part. Sometimes that happens because you just have to do a background that you're going to have and then see what happens with the foreground. Plus, it's dark colors, and I'm a little bit colorblind, so I can't really see the difference between the dark colors. And then I had problems with some drippage there. Drippage is never good, but in this case, it's going to be covered up. Let me know down in the comments if you guys can see the gradient between blue velvet, the chalk blues, and then the denim, because I really can't. This is the denim, which ends up looking like it covers up most of the dark gradient, but it doesn't in the end. You're going to see later on. Now, mountain times. And yes, I'm using a sponge brush and for the mountains because they don't need to be perfect. And sponge brushes I use all the time. They can cover a good amount of area and you can get some nice texture with it. And then I use a bit of scrap card and some white paint to come up with highlights for more depth and structure, so they're not just one-dimensional. And then you can also build up another mountain in front of that one without actually having to paint it there. You just put in the highlights and then you have a little more depth and a little more interesting kind of mountains. There are times when I'd use the same card and I'd come in and do a darker color on the what is the shadow side of the mountain, but in this case I didn't really want to. I just wanted to do the highlights, and it's going to be covered with a little bit of dust there, so it works. This is the first of the forward hill range, and it'll make more sense because this is where the waterfall is going to come from. The waterfall is going to start more center left, so I wanted to have this big hill on the right, and then a whole bunch of little baby trees. I started with a silicone brush first, and then I grabbed a regular paintbrush, which, to be honest, I don't think I've used a regular paintbrush in probably over a year. Maybe I've been studying too many other YouTube artists and how they work with the paintbrush and how well they can paint. But even right now, I can think of 3 rooms in my house where I have paintbrushes. It's full of paintbrushes. I should be using them, right? Whenever I do a tree line, I try and think of every tree line I've ever seen and how sometimes there's tall trees, sometimes there's small trees, sometimes there's even gaps. Waterfalls are made with a little bit of card and white paint, and I wanted to have waterfalls on the big hill as well. Not sure where they're coming from exactly, but I needed some sort of action over there a little bit. And then this, put the white down, a little bit of black in front of it, and dark granite to try and make it more rocks, and then coming with trees in the background, so that way you have multiple layers of waterfalls coming down, getting bigger as you go. I will admit to making a little bit of a mistake here. I should have had the waterfalls in the next layer moved a little bit so that they're not completely straight down, because it kind of lose that depth and perception there. Trees are the same as the waterfalls. As you get closer to the front, you have to start making them a little bit bigger and more robust, so that you have depth and, what's the word? Perspective. That's the word I was searching for. You have perspective because you have the tiny trees back on the mountain range, and the closer you get up, you have these bigger ones. And of course, you got to put some trees in front of the background waterfalls, so that way you're having a little more perspective there, and you can see that they're falling behind these trees. A little bit greenery on that mountain to just make it a little more interesting. And now I'm going to take a moment to talk about this video's sponsor. I don't have one. It's just me. That's why I need you guys to help. I need you guys to blow up this page. I need you to like this video, like all my other videos, subscribe to my page if you haven't subscribed already, and tell your friends about it. Tell other artists about it. I'm this guy who had a dream long ago to be an artist, and I kind of gave up on it and went with life. So I would love to talk to Montana Cans about their spray paint, which I love and I enjoy using. I would love to talk to Squarespace about getting an amazing website, which I did try doing it on there before, but financial wise, couldn't do it. So help blow up my channel and prove that this can be done, prove that dreams can happen even when you're over 50. The waterfalls has grown and split up, and now I'm coming in with even bigger trees than I had before, but they're still not the foreground trees. They're mid-ground, I guess. And this is a birch tree. It came out a little wonky, but it still looks good, and birch trees look wonky. The foreground work is where you make the painting. You make it a lot more interesting. You make it a lot more enjoyable for people to look at and imagine that they could just walk right into the forest if possible. It's all about layers. Building up layers after layers after layers. Putting more stuff in the foreground and then more trees and greenery and all kinds of stuff. And here I am with more bushes and stuff on the right. I didn't really know what to do, so I just wanted to have some bushes to cover up those waterfalls. And then, of course, a big evergreen. And I'm using a fan brush, which I have not done in well over a year. Normally, I'd make a fan brush out of napkins and use that. But I had a fan brush sitting there, so I wanted to try it out. And it was not the best fan brush. This technique scares me a little bit, but it's really cool. You have a card, you fold it in half, you spray some paint inside of it, and then you squeeze it and slowly let it out so that you're kind of just using the paint to draw onto your page. I did it a few times in this painting, and it worked out really well every single time. These were going to be bushes, but I really wasn't sure what kind of bushes they were going to be. And here I am making a napkin brush. I have other videos on this if you want to go back and look to those. You just kind of fold it up all the time. Bounty napkins are the best, and then you tear off a semicircle to make yourself a little brush. Really simple, really cheap, and you get a good effect with it. And it's only like $7 for like 200 napkins, so there's a whole lot of brushes you can make right there. Plus you can do different kinds of brushes. You can turn it in different ways. It's really excellent. Now I'm just going to wait in the comments for somebody to come and say, well, you covered up all that great work you did making those bushes and the branches. I agree, it wasn't very smart. And this here I'm coming in with some purple and red and I'm making Saskatoon bushes out of it. And then I cover a little bit and I come in with a little bit more because we're in Saskatchewan and you have Saskatoon bushes here. And then I wanted birds, but I also wanted to show distance and depth, so I put some in the front as well, different colors, and then some stars. Siggy in the corner, and then I'll put on 3 coats of clear coat to make it shiny. Painting is done. Next step is to package it up, take it to the new owner of it, see what they think, get my payment for it, and then go do what I gotta do to up my YouTube game. Do you have any idea what it's gonna be? Do you have any guesses of what it's gonna be? Let me know in the comments what you think I'm gonna do to up my YouTube game. And a couple stickers. Let's go deliver this. This is Shania and Mason. Sorry about the background noises.
Here, I can hold it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness. The waterfall is gorgeous.
Yeah. These trees here. Oh my god.
Thank you so much.
Seeing from?
More than what we asked for, honestly.
That is stunning one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shania and Mason, for ordering that painting. So glad you loved it. So now it's time to up my YouTube game. Have you guessed what I'm going to do? Cordless microphones. That's right, we're going to have great sound coming up in the next future videos. So for now, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, go visit me on Instagram, TikTok, go check out my Patreon. Hopefully you can become a patron and you can help me to get better equipment and make things a whole lot better for you guys to enjoy. But now, without further ado, the final shots.
Spray can whisper secrets untold. Mountains rise with a misty hue. Cascades drip in electric blue. Colors clash when lightnings bite. Waterfalls roar in neon light. Spray art whispers, it shakes, it roars on a cutting edge. The legend roars.
I know what you're thinking. Why is this 50-year-old playing with a stuffed platypus and wearing a backwards hat? Because I like platypuses and dogs eat in front of my hat. Plus it's dirty. Plus my hair is a little crazy. Now you know. The rest of the story.